to Teachers Corner Podcast. I'm delighted to have you with us today as we explore a vital topic in education. But first, let us introduce ourselves. My name is Ilham Satria Kusnanda.
My name is Nani Bustari.
My name is Sri Putri Ramadhani.
In this episode, we'll dive into effective strategies that enhance learning, discuss how to minimize misunderstandings, and explore ways to organize and sequence teaching to maximize engagement and effectiveness. We have several where-to questions, but we are going to focus to the O questions. So the first one is, what learning experiences are best for developing and deepening students' understanding? The second one is, how can we minimize the possibility of misunderstanding? And then the last one is, how can we organize and sequence teaching and learning to maximize engagement and effectiveness?
Whether you're an educator, parent, or someone passionate about learning, this conversation promises valuable insight to help make students more meaningful and impactful.
Okay, so grab a coffee, get comfortable, and let's enjoy this educational journey together.
Okay, now we move to the first questions that we would like to talk about. I am curious, actually, is there any learning experiences are best for developing and deepening students' understanding?
First of all, let's hear from our Guru Pamong, Guru Nawara. She emphasized that the teacher's ability to master the material and the classroom is a key factor in creating effective learning experience. With the deep understanding of the material, teachers can deliver lessons clearly and confidently. Mastery of the classroom allows teachers to manage class dynamics, provide opportunities for students to ask questions, and ensure that every student gets the answer and understanding they need. According to her, a structured and supportive learning environment encourages students to be more active and engaged in the learning process.
So, is there any approach for that?
There is.
What is it?
It's called Understanding by Design UBD approach, developed by Grant Regents and Jay McTighe. This approach emphasizes the importance of designing learning with a focus on big ideas and essential questions that are relevant to real life. UBD invites teachers to start planning with the desired end result, namely deep understanding by the students, and then design the curriculum and learning activities that will lead students toward that understanding.
Okay, so can you give the example of UBD implementations in the classroom?
Sure. I will give you an example of implementing the UBD approach in teaching by context at SMA Negeri 3 Bogor. When applied the understanding by design approach in teaching by context with focus in mastery of material and classroom management as advised by Ibu Munawara, the process began by setting learning objectives centered on big ideas and essential questions such as how can students write their own context in accordance with the generic structure and language features. So to achieve these objectives, the teacher designed activities that include students write recontext about their experience participating in Indonesia Independence Day competition, and then students present their text using image and receive feedback from the teacher. This approach to reinforce with the use of technology. Through this strategy, students not only understanding the theory of pre-context, but also apply in real context. So that's all I can say to give you an example.
Okay,
Okay. So can I give my perspective?
Of course.
Okay. Thank you.
What is your opinion about that?
Yeah. Okay. Now I would like to share my personal perspective on this topic. In my opinion, the most effective learning experience are those that combine the teacher's mastery of the material with student-centered learning approach. When teachers truly understand the material and can manage the class well, they create a safe and supportive environment to the students to explore. Yeah. So I also feel that technology can play an important role in enhancing learning experience by utilizing digital tools. Teachers can create experience that are more interactive and personal. However, technology should be used as a supportive tool, not as a replacement for the essential human interaction in education.
Okay.
That's all.
So the teacher's role is still important, right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's really important.
That is interesting. But well, you know, sometimes in the classroom there is still misunderstanding in the learning process. So it leads to the follow-up questions. The second question, which is how can we minimize the possibility of misunderstanding?
As a teacher, it's not enough to share only our knowledge. Our job is to ensure students not only hear what we are saying, but truly to make our students understand and can apply it to their real lives.
So how do you achieve that?
To achieve that, there are three important keys in minimizing the misunderstanding in learning process. The first one is clear communication. As we know that foundation of education is an effective teaching, which is a clear communication. Imagine you are giving instruction for a group activity, but your student will confuse.
What more?
It's because we are using an overwhelming explanation with too much details or jumping between our ideas. To avoid this, we have to keep our language more simple and age appropriate based on our students' level. So you can teach your material step by step. For example, when teaching a material, you can show your students example and giving them instruction to make their own sentences. By this, you can make the class more active.
So how can we make your class more active?
Based on my experience in teaching at SMA Negeri 3 Bogor, give students a regular feedback and questions. By checking the student understanding regularly, it's not enough to ask, do you all understand? Because let's be honest, most students will just only nod even if they don't. Instead of, you can try interactive techniques like ask students to rephrase the lesson in their own words. You can use activity like think, pair, share, where they can reflect, discuss, and then they can share their insights, their ideas in the class. These strategies not only check the students' comprehension, but also build their collaboration and confidence on your students. And the third important key is how you can encourage question and scaffolding. A supportive classroom is one where students feel safe to ask questions. Not every student is comfortable speaking in front of the class. To consider this, you can use anonymous methods like suggestion box or digital platforms to make your students give their own opinions. And remember, the complex ideas of scaffolding is teaching by step. For example, guide your students through sentences structure before expecting them to write a full essay. As they gain confidence gradually, you can reduce the support to promote their independence on making their own tasks. And to wrap up, minimizing misunderstanding in learning is not only about being perfect. It's about being intentional. By focusing on a clear communication, regular feedback, and create a classroom more fun, you can minimize the misunderstanding in your learning process.
Wow, thank you so much. I can minimize the misunderstanding in my class, teacher.
And then the scaffolding, right? It's really important to teach them step by step.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So let's move to the next question. How can we organize and sequence teaching and learning to maximize engagement and effectiveness?
Okay. So first, let's talk about the foundations of effective teaching, which is understanding your students. It's essential to assess their needs, learning styles, and interests by tailoring your approach, whether through visual aids, hands-on activities, or group discussions. You can meet them where they are. And then after that, you can setting clear learning goals.
What is it?
So imagine going a journey without a map. That's what learning feels like without clear goals. Setting specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound objectives or SMART goals provides directions for both you and your students. And don't forget to communicate these goals at the start of each lesson so everyone is on the same page. For example, in modul ajar, we have tujuan pembelajaran, right? Which give us directions for everything we do in the classroom must be related to that tujuan pembelajaran. Last week in SMA Negeri 3 Bogor, my tujuan pembelajaran is students be able to write. So from the very first activity, I already related to writing activities.
How can you apply it?
By designing a structured lesson plan, I guess. A good lesson plan has three main components. First one is introductions. We start with a strong and engaging hook. Maybe an intriguing questions, a story, or a quick warm-up activity. And then content delivery. We gradually introduce concept, moving from simple to complex, and keep the methods varied to maintain interest. It's like a scaffolding. And then the conclusions. Summarize the key points and encourage reflections. A well-rounded lesson leaves students motivated to learn more. And also, don't forget about the technology and the media. Tools like Kahoot for quizzes, Padlet for brainstorming, or Canva for creative projects can bring lessons to life. Incorporating multimedia like videos, simulations, and visuals also enhance understanding and keep students engaged. And then finally, evaluating and reflecting. Because every lesson should end with evaluating and reflections. We can also use quizzes, group discussions, or even self-assessments to measure learning. And as a teacher, reflect on what worked well and what could be improved for our lessons, future lessons. So I think that's all.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
For today's episode. I hope you guys enjoy and can learn from our discussions. Yeah, I think let's wrap it up, everyone. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.